Here is a video on one of my favorite gemstones, zircon. If I was to show you a 1 carat zircon, unless you were fully qualified in gemology, you couldn't really tell it apart from a really beautiful diamond. It is a gemstone that is very, very similar to diamonds in many ways, but actually far superior in some aspects. First of all, zircon is the oldest gemstone ever discovered. In fact, it's more than that. Zircon is the oldest item on the planet. You see, the rocks that we stand on today, the foundations of your home, the rocks by the beach, there isn't a single rock on our planet that is more than 3.5 billion years old. But the planet itself is some 4.4 billion years. What happens is what we call the rock cycle. There's only 3 types of rock. There's the igneous rock that solidifies from the volcano, and that comes up and gives us igneous rock. And there's different flavors of this, but let's just call it igneous rock. Eventually that weathers and weathers and weathers and becomes sedimentary rock. That's where all the little bits get compressed and compressed and compressed, and eventually we get a sedimentary rock. And then as that gets pushed down even more in towards the sort of magma under the crust, we get metamorphic rock, where it changes its being, its state. It goes from one type to another. So there's only 3 types of rock. And we live on a planet that's constantly going through a cycle. And because of this cycle, what we call the rock cycle, there isn't a rock on our planet that is more than 3.5 billion years old. However, we have found zircon that was around at the time the Earth itself formed, some 4.5 billion years ago. So through this gemstone, scientists have now learnt more about the way the Earth came together. We've learnt from a gemstone that there was water on the planet pretty much from the very, very beginning. And people are learning so much from this gemstone, there's a whole new science today called zirconology. So if that's not enough to make you want to buy a zircon, let me tell you a few more things. But just stay with that one for a second. Take your zircon, put it against the skin. You could be touching something that was around 4 billion years ago. For me, that makes it so precious on its own. There's less zircon on the planet though than diamonds, unfortunately. They say that if all the zircons on the Earth came together and were all cut and faceted in one go, and people knew about them as much as they knew about diamonds, then they would all sell out within 12 months. So it's scarcer than a diamond. But zircon does something very, very interesting. When white light goes into a diamond, it goes and reflects and comes out into the 7 colours of the rainbow, but only once. When it happens with a zircon, light goes in, it splits into 2 totally separate rays and then goes into the colours of the rainbow. So you get twice the fire. So now you've got a gemstone with more fire, potentially more brilliance than a diamond. It's older, it's rarer, and yet people like me come along and sell it at about 1/10 of the price.